I went 3 months with absolutely no seed oils, no chemicals in my house, no candles, no scents, no nothing. And the results were absolutely crazy. When I went in around July of 2024 for my doctor's appointments, they said that my cancer was growing at a steady pace. They had a few nodules that they were watching, and if they grew any more, I would have to have surgery. I would have to have them removed. And I had 3 months till my next appointment. I sat down with my girlfriend at the time, my now fiance, and I told her, I said, I need to make a change. In order to say that I did absolutely everything possible in my capabilities to say that I did everything I could to prevent surgery and prevent my cancer from growing, I needed to make some changes. And now you got to realize at the time, like I've always been a super healthy individual. I've always ate super clean. I've always watched a lot of the things that we use, like organic and natural. Like we don't really use too many chemicals, but I knew I could do better. I would say I was probably eating 80% clean at the time. We were still using, your normal household like dish soaps and all that kind of stuff, like Dawn and everything. And I decided I needed to make a change. I knew a lot of those things weren't good for you, and I knew a lot of those things could cause cancer. And for somebody especially who is trying to be healthy, this could be for anybody. So don't think that this video is only for cancer patients. If you are struggling with cancer, I highly suggest that you take what I say very seriously. But if you're struggling with any autoimmune disorder whatsoever, literally anything, it could be from, you're struggling with gout to you're feeling bloated to you just feel like a pile of crap all the time. Like it could be literally anything. If you want to be a healthy individual, I seriously recommend that you take these things into account. So basically, I had my appointments around July, and there's about, I would say, 3-ish month time frame. I had my next appointments in October, and I completely changed everything. I cut out all seed oils, number one. That was the first step to this process. I don't want to get too stuck on seed oils, but if you don't know what they are things like canola oil, peanut oil, soybean oil, things like that. Extra virgin olive oil it's okay, but you got to watch out for what you buy. Same thing for coconut oil. Now, the important thing is that you're watching what you eat and you're avoiding these seed oils. Next up, when it comes to food, is I would avoid all things corn. And I would do my best to buy my fruit organic and pesticide free. So I'm watching out for glyphosates, pesticides, things that have been sprayed with all these chemicals. So I'm avoiding those things. I'm avoiding the seed oils. I'm avoiding the chemicals, the pesticides, all those things. I was eating primarily ground beef. And I had this idea where, and I still have this idea, the fattier the beef, the better. I mean, it's good for you. The fat's good for you. So I eat like 80% organic ground beef, grass-fed. And then I would eat a lot of fruit, and I would get organic if I could. And if you're on a budget and you do not have the capabilities of paying for organic, that's okay. Just go ahead and use a little bit of baking soda and some water and maybe some vinegar, and that'll kill like 99% of these pesticides and the chemicals that were left over from when they were sprayed. So, but anyway, I avoided those things. I was primarily eating beef, fruit, honey was a good one, raw honey. I was eating maple syrup, those things. And I did that for 3 months. I did it for a whole month and a half before I started experimenting. I started incorporating white rice because eating on this diet, a lot of people like to say like it's affordable, and it is for like most people. But for me, as a bodybuilder and a weightlifter, I was constantly wanting to gain weight, and I just wasn't able to do it when I was eating like that. And a few other things I might be missing is I was also eating dairy as well. So I was eating a lot of dairy, which did help me, eat a bit more calories, but I had to incorporate something. I needed something with more calories, even though it might not have been the greatest, and it was rice. That's what I did. Rice is still a single form ingredient. It's not the greatest for you. They contain arsenics, heavy metals, things like that. That can cause a lot of brain fog, but I really didn't notice it too much. So I started incorporating rice, white rice, to eat more calories throughout the day and also to spend less money because it does get kind of pricey buying nothing but fruit for your carb sources. And I needed carbs, so I needed to find something, and that was white rice. So that's step number one, is getting your diet straight. I ate with absolutely no exceptions, by the way. We're talking no cheat meals, never one cheat meal, nothing, literally nothing. I ate like this for up until my appointments. And even after my appointments, I still eat relatively close to this. I'm a little bit less dogmatic and a little bit more experimental with the food that I eat now. But with the results that I was given from this 3-month, 4-month long process, it definitely changed my perspective on food and just overall living. And it changed it enough to where I am much more conscious now. And I went from being 80% clean to like 95% clean, maybe even more so. And I don't do like many chemicals in the house at all. So the next thing I want to get into, apart from food, is we completely cut out all cleaning chemicals. This is Dawn dish soap, any type of laundry detergent. So for dish soap, we actually used baking soda and like a scrubber and some hot water, and then we would also use vinegar. And we came up with this recipe for our dishwasher, which is primarily made of salts. I don't have it on me right now. I might, if people are super interested, I might have to make a video about it, and I'll just post, the recipe or something. But it was a dishwasher detergent primarily made up of salts that cleaned your dishes, and it was completely safe. So any residue left over on your dishes was safe, as opposed to like the Tide Pods and things like that, which are completely toxic to humans. So we cut out all those things. For soap, just baking soda. For laundry detergent, just vinegar. That was it. And for body soap, this is where it got really difficult because I used a beef tallow soap, and it was made from it was called Man Vans or something like that. And it was primarily beef tallow, honey, almond or vanilla oil, and that was it. I'm pretty sure that was it. And it smelled really good. The problem was it was pretty expensive. And so I used that for a while until I finally said, you know what? I'm just going to chalk it up, and I use Dr. Squatch now. Now, Dr. Squatch, it's not the best option. I'm sure there's better options out there, but it's a really small thing to include in the entire schedule of things, in the entire picture of things. It was just a small thing that I decided, you know what? I want to smell good. I don't want to, and it's not like I stunk using the beef towel. Like I said, it was more of an affordability thing. I needed something that was cheaper, and I needed to not stink as well. So we went with Dr. Squatch. And then for every room in our house, we had air purifiers. Okay, so one of the things that I have is lung cancer. I've got a history with lung cancer, so and that's where they were tracking it. So we decided to get air purifiers for each room in the house. We got 2 of them, 2 for the main rooms. So we got one for, at the time we were living in a townhome, so we had a bottom floor and a top floor. So I had one for the bottom floor and one for the top floor, and they cover like 1,300 square foot or something like that. And we had those running 24/7. So yeah, we literally cut everything out. Candles included. Like, we didn't do candles. We would use those essential oils, and we would get like the humidifiers with the essential oils. We put those in there, and that's what we would use. For cleaning, we would use vinegar. So we had spray bottles with mixed with half water, half vinegar. We still use all this stuff, by the way. And we would clean everything. And people are like, oh, like, don't your clothes and doesn't your house smell like vinegar? No, it literally doesn't. It just smells clean, like a home. Like you're not getting the chemical smell that you might smell when somebody just cleans and deep bleaches or whatever their home, but it smells clean. It just smells normal. And the reason I'm telling you guys this is because I did all of this for 4 months, very strict, literally no exceptions. The only thing that you could deem an exception was the Dr. Squatch. That was literally it. In fact, for a while, I wasn't even using deodorant. This is kind of a funny story. I wasn't using deodorant because I knew that like all the aluminums and stuff were like really bad for your hormones and stuff like that. Like I didn't want to use them. But I ended up deciding like, you know, I'm still young. I had some BO and stuff like that. And they said that, you know, your diet can help with your BO. But even when I was eating super clean, like it just got to a point where I was like, okay, I got to use deodorant too. So I started using some Dr. Squatch and things like that. So that was experimental. I mean, you'll win some, you'll lose some. Some things you'll change and you'll realize, you know what, this just isn't worth it. And that was just one of those things. But for like, those are the only gives that I had for everything. Everything else, like no candles, nothing. And the results, when I went in October for my appointments, my nodules didn't only not grow, but they shrunk. Now this is pretty crazy news because it's actually extremely rare and unlikely that cancer nodules can shrink. And that's exactly what they did. And to me, that speaks volumes. Going from kind of being careless with the chemicals in our house, we never really watched that at all. Never had air purifiers. I was pretty good with my diet, but I allowed some processed foods and seed oils. To just not allowing any exceptions actually made a huge difference. All these small things made a massive difference, and my cancer shrunk. A life-threatening disease that supposedly has no cure shrunk. Think about that. If these foods and these chemicals were actually contributing to the growth of my cancer cells, imagine what they're doing to your body on a daily basis. A healthy person might not notice right away. But as time goes on, and as these habits continue, you might run into some problems. And this is extremely important for people to hear. People need to hear that the food that is in the grocery stores is bad. Most of it. You need to eat good, clean foods. You need to know what you're eating. When you look at an ingredient label and you see 42 different things and you don't know what all of them are, it's probably not good for you. Like, why are we eating foods that are sprayed with pesticides and chemicals that kill other smaller, but living things? We're eating those. Why? Why are we using these chemicals to kill all these germs and that smell so good but destroy our hormones? I think a lot of people would benefit from cutting these things out. So I think it's a very important, and I can make more videos on this. This is just something I wanted to get out there to you guys, and I wanted to post something about like my routine. I mean, I've been doing this since 2024, I've been doing most of these things. I'm a little bit more lenient now. But when I talk about lenient, it's not like I was before. Like when it comes to the chemicals, I still don't use Dawn. I still don't use any of those chemicals. When it comes to my diet, I'm still very much so spot on. I avoid seed oils like the plague. The difference is when you start something new, you'll realize you have a lot more limitations because you are a lot less educated. Once you do something for an extended period of time, you get good at it and you get better at seeing, okay, I need to avoid this. This is okay. It's okay to not be dogmatic. It's okay to experiment. It's okay. But the thing is, you need to take a step in the right direction, and sometimes you need to completely make a full change. Like for me, I needed to make a 180 change, and I was already a healthy person. I just unfortunately have circumstances that called me to make changes a lot sooner in life. But anyway, if you guys want more videos like this, I can make more videos going full in depth about these things, about my diet, about things that I think you should be eating. Like one of my biggest things is I don't think vegetables are good for you. I can make a video about that too if you guys want it. But if you guys do, just let me know. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed this one. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.